Welcome to our brief presentation and little presentation that I have here, a recap of 2025. I said I will come here and I will share uh, this brief little presentation to give us a reality check and help us think about the things that we need to focus on as women, as the original cosmic being. And we really need to understand what we're dealing with. And I think a recap of that would put things in perspective. So let's dive in here. So, the title of this little small presentation is Women Power and the Laws That Shape Us, um, a 2026 update. So, we're just going to look at this now that we're going into 2026. So much has happened. The man has did crazy things. Like I said, the world is shifting legally, politically, socially, and women are feeling the impact deeply. Now, since my departure going to the United States, I told you I would be coming to Thailand because I saw this coming. Again, many of the cultural currents I sensed have indeed been reflected in the real structure changes. I know a lot of you said, Miss Penny, you're just exaggerating, you're fear mongering. No, I was not. Has the man not did anything over there that made heads rolls? He have done things that made head roll. We got people out there doing voodoo and hoodoo against this man because he have just did so many crazy things, and people are constantly talking about this. These men are constantly reporting it, and they say they are good, but yet no one is sitting this man down after he has done all these atrocities, committed felonies against women and children, because he's been accused of pedophilia too. And so are some of the other political, I'm sure some other political powers over there that they were in it with them too. And stop looking at these men like they are, God, and they just follow each other. Even though this man, they know he's doing what he's doing is raggedy over there, you got people still following him. Is that not true? You still got people that still talking this talk. It ain't nobody set this man down anywhere. These aren't isolated events. They are part of the larger tide affecting women's bodily autonomy, economic agency, community roles, and relationship dynamics. Here's a big picture overview of the trends, updates impacting women today, followed by reflections on what they mean for women's sovereignty, purpose, and self-focused rebuilding. Because that's what needs to happen. Again, they mess with the reproductive rights. Okay? Because the numbers are declining globally. These numbers are declining. What did they do in 2022? They took away your autonomy. Okay? And how does this affect you? Okay, when they say, "Oh, you're gonna have any children, you're not doing your duty, we're gonna make abortion, we're gonna outlaw that." And so, what did they do? How did this affect you? How did that affect you? Again, economic harm. You're not gonna be able to work. It mess up your plans and goals when somebody forces a pregnancy on you that you did not plan. So it does economic harm when you weren't economically ready for it. That's how it harms you. Educational disruption. If you plan to go to school or whatever, you can't go to school anymore. Now you got to take care of this child, and with the price of child care and things like that, you are not gonna be able to go. Many of us. Okay, that's what that messes with when they're forcing children on you when you're unplanned children. And a lot of these men love to get women pregnant on purpose. A lot of our great mothers, great grandmothers, and aunts, some of these men forced babies on them and got them pregnant. Do you really believe that some of these women wanted to have 8, 9, 10 children? No. Because they were forced upon them. Listen to some of their stories. No one wanted to have all those children like that, but they were forcing and encouraging women to do so. And some of them lost their lives after the doctor said, if you have another baby so soon, you're going to die. These men went home and got them pregnant again anyway, and a lot of them died in childbirth. That's why we had some midwives, some root doctors, and things that gave women autonomy because they knew the herbs and vitamins and things that they would use if they did not want to have a baby. They knew how to protect them and give them their autonomy. But that wasn't happening. A lot of them didn't have that as well. So they took away your reproductive autonomy. Dismantling pathways to economic power. How did they do that? They start messing with the education. Okay? They start messing with the profession. So now in 2025, the U.S. Department of Education reclassified nursing no longer as a professional degree under the new student loan. Who was getting those loans? Majority of them was women. Okay, and that's a slap in the face. After the fact, we had to go through all these provisions to be able to work in nursing after they took over the medical industry and made it outlawed for us to be midwives and doulas. Isn't that something? And then you're gonna go in here again and slap this and say, "Oh, we're not gonna make it in the profession anymore. We're not gonna even pay for this no more for y'all." Okay. So really think about that. And then that DEI, a lot of people say, "Oh, the DEI is just for minorities." No. Women, you are the minority. You are the minority. I know you think it's just about race. You're going to find that out soon as this economic thing starts to rev up and it's more competition for jobs. You're going to see that because men is always going to put himself first. And DEI meant women, not just, people of color. It meant women too, because certain women are kept out of some professions as well. And DEI covered that as well. So without DEI, not only was that protecting people of color, but it was protecting women too. It was opening doors and opportunities for women too. Okay? So this effectively limits federal education funding for nursing students. It moves critics. A move critics say will worsen the nursing shortage and undermines women's access to professional advancement. Other actions threaten federal nursing workforce programs, including cuts to Title VIII that supports the help fund nurse education. So they have messed with that for the rising of divorce, shifting family structures. You're getting a lot of women that's waking up now since this man have been in presidency, and they realize their husbands are crazy like that man. But the XY chromosome, something is always wrong with him. It doesn't matter if he's red, yellow, green, something. He's defective. Okay? He has inferior genetics. It's just the bottom line. I don't care what color he is, but he's just got inferior genetics. He was never meant to lead anything. I mean, you got warmongering among all these nations. Not many of them that's leading, in the right capacity. The only one I can see that's probably a good role model for this would be Abraham Traore. He seems to be the only one that probably got some sense out of all these men that's ready to push the button and blow up something. He seems to have the most sense. That's the only one I can look like that. What he is doing makes sense to me. What these others are doing, I don't understand it at all. Know what these other people are doing. Other men are doing. They don't need to be leading. He does not need to be leading. He needs to be sitting down. And right now, women, we are not talking about feminism or overthrowing them or acknowledgement or validation or want to serve as a president in their corrupt, tainted, institution they've created. We have to rebuild another one by us, for us, ran by us, not looking for their validation. We're trying to heal and set things right. That's what that needs to be done for. That's what needs to be happening there. I know, a lot of people say, "Oh, you being feminist, you heard." Let me tell you something. I hear a lot of me say, "You saying this because you heard." No, go do the statistics of who doing what to who. You ask men would they want to live on the planet without women, they say no. You ask women would they want to live on the planet without men, they said fine, wouldn't be a problem with me. Men is the only one that don't want to be on the planet without women, but yet you are abusing and hurting women and children. You're energetically siphoning the energy out of them, and you're mad when women don't want to give in. Invest that type of energy into that so you can abuse it. You look at the numbers scientifically. We've talked about this biologically, scientifically. We've looked at the statistics. We've looked at the spiritual essence. You can look at this from different perspectives, and it still points back to you, XY chromosome. You have been doing, something is going on with you, and you're in denial about it. And since he's in denial about it, and women, we know that something is wrong with them, they don't want to again evolve, they don't want to get better, then it's up to us to separate ourselves and not keep asking and begging. Just go ahead and create something else. Okay, we don't want that anyway, because that was something they stole from us, and they tainted it, and they infiltrated, and they corrupted it. That's what you're seeing with that Freemason and all their Abrahamic religion. That was them going in, jealous of us, going in, taking it. And so now we have to restructure it and rebuild it, and not share power with them or tell them anything, because everything they learned from women. And then they corrupted it and bastardized it and watered it down. I've thoroughly went over this with you. Okay? So now you're seeing women saying, hey, we want to be away from him because something is wrong with him. It's not right. Yeah, we've been telling you that. Okay? So you're seeing these divorce rates globally, they're going up. And I think within this last 4 or 5 months, at the end of 2025, again in 2026, there's a lot of divorce rates on the rise here, especially in the white community. Okay? And you've seen a lot of black men, since there has been a shortage, of women are stepping away with relationships with men. Men of color have showed their dissatisfaction in our community. And so they think they're passport bros. They go abroad, and they think they get these women. You're not going to do anything but hurt that woman too. Okay? And you foreign women that are dealing with the passport brothers, you're getting nothing but garbage. That's what that is. He failed his own community, his own women. He failed that. And now he's going to go into another community and fail that too. That's you're a failure. Okay? You couldn't even have a decent relationship with the women in your community. Now, if that's your preference, that's fine. But some of you guys have used this as an escape, so you don't have to deal with your own flaws. And you feel like, oh, they won't take my flaws. I'll go into another community and they'll accept my flaws and my raggedy stuff. And they don't think anything is wrong with it. Instead of dealing with you, you're going to repeat these same negative patterns and hurt somebody else. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm going to complicate this for you. I've broken this down for you scientifically, biologically, scientific, so you can understand it. If you don't get this, it's because you don't want to. And that it has nothing to do with emotions, because I'm beyond it. I'm just shocked that people don't look at the numbers, like they just ignore all of the information, like this is not happening. I can no longer go into fantasy anymore about looking being denial anymore after looking at these numbers, looking at the patterns, and in my experience, look, this is what it is. There is no memo, because the facts were there. And for some of you, this does make you emotional because you're in denial and you're not ready to deal with the facts, but the facts are there. Your life expectancy goes down when you come in contact with an XY chromosome. Your life is at risk. Your life risk increases when you come in contact with the XY chromosome because he's there to extract energy only. Not many of them are there to share energy. They're there to extract from you. Okay? The pattern is clear. Restriction meets autonomy. What's happening politically, legally is more than random policy changes. It feels coordinated because it affects the structures historically enabled women's independence. They've already messed with your reproductive autonomy. They've messed with the education here. They've already created an economic toxic environment for you where it will be hard for any single person to stay alone at that matter. They're forcing again these birth rates. They're trying to create again, and then they created incentives. If you buy into this birth stuff, if you would be a birthing object for them, okay, and birth these children for them, you get incentives for that in some places. Uh, Again, they don't want you to have any relationship freedom. They're making it too. I will be surprised how easy it is for these women to get out of these marriages. And after this, they might make it harder for women to get divorces. Yeah, they might make it harder for women to get divorces or even to vote because you remember they was thinking about, I don't know if they have went through with this, that if you were married, only the husband vote counts. They try to come up with that too. And women, you think it is about you. It's not about you. Everything they wrote in that Bible was about taking up women's autonomy. It was all focused on men. Nothing has changed. They kept that same mindset. Nothing has changed. There's no sense in being emotional about it or anything like that. It's that you're in denial and you believe all these future faking and fantasies that they were giving us. Okay, that's what they were giving us, and none of them has been able to lead properly. None of them have been able to do it. They're just not good leaders. Okay, they're never built to lead. Okay, so what do we do now? Again, this is not about overthrowing patriarchy. This is about rebuilding, and especially rebuilding strong spiritual platforms that help us build better communities and organizations led by women for women and their children. It's about reconstruction, okay? It's about building communities, knowledge bases that place women's sovereignty and spiritual, intellectual, and economic agency at the center. Because if we build, again, a strong economic center, that is our power. We get a chance to move the way we want to move. It's not going to come through no man. It's going to come through us coming together, having a spiritual based foundation, and building economic structures that support women and children by women for women, led by women. It's about self-focus as strategic power, not selfishness, but sovereignty rooted in skill building and economic self-determination and spiritual clarity. This moment calls for women-led institution, networks, economies, not just protests against laws, but creation of a new foundation that cannot easily be taken away. So again, don't go in there thinking that you can go into where they are and you can turn something around. You can't go in that political system because it's been tainted, it's messed up. So we would have to build our own system and create something different. Okay, they've infiltrated that. Even our spiritual system with the Abrahamic religions, they stole a lot of that stuff, bastardized it, and watered it down. And so we have to start from scrap and keep them out of it and not share any power with them. Women today face a dual reality. Systems are restricting access to autonomy and economic power through abortion bans and education funding cuts and workplace barriers. But women are also claiming autonomy and redefining their lives through economic participation, decisions about partnership, and collective movements towards sovereignty. Okay, and so this where our community comes in, where we have an opportunity to build something, chime in together. I don't think a lot of women that they're focused on this right now. I don't know what it's going to take. I've talked about this. The great mother have me talking about this because she said they got to do it. They got to get together because, hey, the writing is on the wall. They got to, and I'm bringing it here. I wrote a book and how I have a community. So if you have anything to add here, I would appreciate that. And again, this is not a attack on women, on men. This is about the rebuilding and the reclaiming of women of divine sovereignty. I'm not trying to bash them at all. I'm not trying to overthrow them at all. I'm trying to rebuild that was taken away from us. All right. Light, love, namaste, ashe, loved one.